EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for the weekend, September 28th and 29th, 2019. Final weekend of September. We're going to be heading into October here as we get into next week. And if for those of you that are sick and tired of the very warm temperatures that have continued past September 23rd, which of course was the calendar start to autumn, and are looking for true autumn air, I do have some good news for you, and it's not going to be that much longer we have to deal with it. This appears in the 7-day forecast. So there's some good news with that, but we are going to have some very, very warm periods, especially in the middle of next week, that we're going to have to contend with yet before we get to that point. So here is today. It's a cold front off to our north. This is coming in very late, though, so very isolated scattered storms and showers will be up here in these areas. As they move further south and east, though, through the evening, they're going to lose their punch and just kind of fizzle and fall apart, we think, and I'll show you that here in the NAM in a second. Global models do have this surviving down to at least our central areas, but for areas further south and east, like Philadelphia, parts of Chester, Lancaster counties, northern Delaware, around the Chesapeake Bay region here, moderate drought is now in place for those areas. So this is not going to be something that is going to save you, and you probably don't see anything at all. So this front does not help you in those areas where it's needed the most. The further north you are, the better chance you see showers, and that would be during the evening. So most of the day here on Saturday is going to be dry. It's going to be partly cloudy and a pretty nice day outside, just a little warm. Temperatures in the 80s across the region today. Generally lower 80s, but 80s nevertheless. And we are going to step back only slightly on Sunday, kind of similar to what we had yesterday, where we had mostly sunny day. Temperatures were kind of upper 70s, still slightly above average for this time of year. But it's a much nicer day with mostly sunny skies and high pressure in control. You can see that right here. High pressure is off to the north, so we are mostly sunny here on Sunday. So let's get over the NAM high-res future simulator radar. I'm going to start this off during the early evening hours, and this is where the front is at this point. Okay, and it's moving off to the south and east. You can see some scattered showers and thunderstorms out ahead of it, moving off to the south and east with the frontal boundary, but as you can see, the next couple of hours here, as we progress through the evening, they cross into Pennsylvania, and they kind of just fall apart and just diminish into a stray shower chance. And that goes through about midnight or thereabouts. So if you're sitting down here in some of these areas that have the moderate drought where I'm circling right now, these areas, not a lot of help, or not a lot of hope for help from this particular front. Okay, so you're going to have to continue with the prolonged drought conditions and the dry conditions that we've been having for a while now, the month of September as a whole. And a lot of these areas are 2 to 3 inches below average for the month, which is almost unheard of when you think about it, since we had some very, very wet months going all the way through July, and then all of a sudden, now we're into this pattern here. So if you didn't, if you want to know why, we go into our long-range outlook yesterday. I explained that in the pattern discussion exactly why that is occurring, or a precipitation and pattern discussion exactly why that has occurred this month. It also takes a look at the month ahead for the month of October, which we're heading to in a couple of days. Now we get into Monday. We're going to have a warm front that's going to move through generally at night, so there could be across our northern areas again, maybe a stray shower. It does not look like most areas are going to miss out on this entirely. Just maybe partly to mostly cloudy skies on Monday night. It'll be partly cloudy during the day prior. Temperatures seasonable, kind of like mid-70s or thereabout, and then may say mid to upper 70s here for Monday. Once we get to Tuesday, though, this warm front is now safely off to the north, and we have a big ridge that's going to be building in. You can almost see where that ridge is. It's sitting here like this. So we have a warm southwesterly wind flow coming in ahead of this ridge, and so we have very warm temperatures coming in on Tuesday. We'll be well in the 80s, and then even more so by the time we get to Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be the peak heating day. Frontal boundary off to our north. I think it remains off the north here. You can see that here. But we're going to have some temperatures that are approaching the 90-degree mark down here by Philadelphia on Wednesday. It's going to be our last summer-like day, I think, and then we transition. We could transition into fall because on the other side of this frontal boundary, up here to the north, see where the frontal boundary is, where that rain is. I don't draw that line, but up here there's some very, very cool autumn temperatures that are going to work their way southward as this front moves south, and that's going to take place on Thursday. So Thursday is kind of like your transition day. You have scattered showers and thunderstorms moving southward with the front, and then once that moves through and the front is south of the region on Friday, we have this cooler air starting to bleed in from the north, and we're going to have a much different feel by the time we get to Friday of next week and heading into next weekend. So we go from this on Wednesday. This is an anomaly map here showing the temperatures compared to what normal is. So these are very high temperatures, some 20 degrees above average in some cases. sitting over our coverage region. And then watch what happens just as this front moves through here on Thursday. And by the time we get to Friday, it looks like that. Looks like that. These greens and purples are below average. We go from well above to below average here on Friday. And all the warmth is shunted off to the south. And this looks like it's going to continue for a while. We're going to have maybe not this extreme, but we'll have temperatures, high temperatures in the 60s for a prolonged period. Might touch 70 a few of those days in there, but as we get closer to normal, we're going to go back and forth as we get in early next or the following week. It looks like we might have a couple days here that are near 70, but then it goes right back down to the 60s after that. So we have a couple shots through the middle of the month. It looks like we're going to have some true autumn temperatures with crisp mornings, maybe even some frost coming into some of these days. We'll see. We'll see how that works out, but we're definitely going to feel a lot more like autumn going forward. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for the weekend, September 28th and 29th, 2019. Have a great Saturday and Sunday.